Good morning, at least from where I am. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world tuning into this live. I really appreciate you jumping on. And today, what we're going to be talking about is one of my favorite topics, quite honestly, because it's all about honestly enjoying your life and loving your life, and spending every day doing what you love to do. When we talk about career, a lot of times we talk about careers in a box, like 5 steps to build your dream career. This is what this is about, right? But we think about a career in a box, like, oh, what kind of work do I want to do, right? What kind of work do I want to do every day? I see career a little bit differently. It's not just what do I want to do for money every day. It's what do I want to do with my time, period, right? What kind of lifestyle do I want to have? What kind of impact do I want to have? And that's really, it's more than just, when you talk about career. I think a lot of times we talk about this term and it's very boxed in. It's very, very narrow. And so when I talk about how to build your dream career, it's more about how to build your dream lifestyle. It's not just about, okay, what should you do for money every day? Because honestly, I don't want to just do something for money every day. Quite honestly, I love making money. Everybody loves making money, right? But if you're just thinking, what am I doing for money every day? It is a grind. Sometimes that does take a toll on your mental health. So let's talk about how to build a lifestyle that is sustainable with money, with some sort of definition of success, but have that be your own vision. And I'll start off just talking about some careers that I've had or I currently have, and this is a lot of this is in the past. Some of this is obviously current, and one here is academic research. So I have an academic research background. I'm actually a peer-reviewed value theorist. I have publications that are in university libraries throughout the world. I have a heavy, academic interest and academic background. I've worked in actually direct sales. I've worked building teams and leaders, and it just all sorts of very, very highly involved business building, right? And so it's very, very and selling and team building. So that's a whole different, completely different perspective, completely different experience, as you can imagine. And there's a long story even to that of how I went from the academic world, and still am in the academic world, but not only in the academic world, to the sales world, to the business world, to the entrepreneurship world. So I've experienced that transition. Got into independent academic tutoring. I've worked with hundreds of students in one-to-one and group capacities to help them improve their scores, to help them improve their get into the best schools. And yes, Hare, welcome. I am actually working on that. That is coming up, the 50 best books. I am actually working on that today and finalizing that today. So today. So we should have that. You should see that posted either today sometime or tomorrow. All right. So I will get that up. And I love you and appreciate you too. I really appreciate just all of the love. So let's keep it going. Let's build our leadership, build our influence, become better people, live a better life, and make a positive influence on the world with our critical thinking, our learning, right? So that's what it's all about. So thank you so much, Harry. And yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I went from independent academic tutoring all the way to owning a test prep agency, academic test prep agency, again, helping students get into, top schools and, scores and all that stuff. So very much combining the academic and the business experience. And then of course I'm a YouTuber. I'm on TikTok too, right? All you guys see me on TikTok. I consider myself more of a YouTuber than a TikToker. So, but hey, here I am on TikTok too. I'm doing the live on two platforms simultaneously. So yes, I think you're referring to Poor Richard's Almanac. Um, I think that's what you're talking about, or maybe it's something different. If that's the correct title, let me know. But yeah, thanks for the recommendation. If so, I will definitely check it out. And yeah, YouTuber and online business owner. So let's get into how do we, what are the first steps? I think one of the most important things, a lot of times people who are talking about career change or lecturing about career change and talking about, how important it is to, they start off by talking about, how important it is to set your core values and develop and define your core values. And I actually couldn't, oh, okay. Yes, 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 yes. Charlie Munger. Yes, Poor Charlie's Almanac. Yes, yes, yes. I actually haven't read it, but Charles Munger, great. Definitely. I will have to read that. Thank you so much. I'm going to definitely get on that. So appreciate it. I always appreciate book recommendations. If you're reading something that I haven't read, and I'm reading something that you haven't read, it's good to share the knowledge, right? So definitely. So step one, I've read actually a bunch of stuff by Charles Munger, but I haven't read like articles and things like that, but I haven't read his books. So so step one then, how do you know your core values? Like, let's be honest, how do you really know your core values truly if you haven't gone out and experienced a lot of things, right? If you haven't tried a lot of things, and failed at a lot of things. And I'm serious. I mean, we might think we are in touch with our core values and we know them. Maybe we even have it listed out. Maybe you even are very progressive about it. You have a identity statement. What's an identity statement? Something you read every morning just to remind yourself of who you are, what your goals are, your core values. But the thing is, how can you really have an accurate sense of it? And the research in psychology bears this out as well. How can you really have an accurate sense of your core values and what you stand for truly until you've tried and experienced and interacted and had those values challenged by maybe very tough experiences? And I know that has happened. My values have changed over time. What I prioritize has changed over time just because of the failures that I've experienced and then the successes on the other side of that. So try a lot of stuff as fast as possible. And Gary Vee talks about this too. It's like Gary Vaynerchuk. All right. I love what he talks about with this. He emphasizes this a lot. If you want to have a career change, so many people are scared of trying something. Well, while you're in your job, right? While you're in your current business, why not carve out 2 hours, even 2 hours every week? Try something out. Did you hear something about drop shipping or that you're interested in? Did you hear something about maybe doing some private tutoring and you think you might be able to do that? Did you hear something about, I don't know, pet sitting or doing dog walking or whatever kind of something that speaks to you, or travel blogging, travel vlogging, whatever it is? Carve out 2 hours a week and try that out and go really hard on that thing. Be very serious about it. And that will actually tell you, like, by experiencing it, it will tell you whether you value those things or not. Don't be afraid. So many of us are just so afraid of taking the leap and trying it out. If you have an idea, try it now. Like, do it. Take 2 hours or 1 hour a week and just start trying it out. You're going to start clarifying your values. And that's going to eventually, we'll get to clarification of values as a step. But you have to start with that too. And what I would do as well is step 2, develop a personal development plan. Personal development is so critical for it is so critical for career development and clarification of values. Once again, we get back to clarification of our values. Why? Because yes, you may be hesitant to change into something or transition into something. You may have people that depend on you. Like maybe you're dependent on your income, right? From your current job. And it's like, well, if I transitioned into something new, there are so many question marks. There are so many potential challenges that I'm going to face. There are so many, what if it doesn't work out? There are so much hesitation, but that's because we haven't really, clarified our values, and our purpose, and we haven't really gone through the hard work of fleshing out a personal development plan. Book fans, welcome. Great to see you here. Thank you for joining. Guys, if you have any questions about career development or your career path or making a transition into a new career, let me know, because this is something that I'm just talking about this week. I know I will get back to a lot of the book stuff and personal development and all of that stuff, which I love. But I thought this topic this week was just something important to talk about, because it's a lot on a lot of people's minds. But we have to, the reason we are so hesitant about taking that risk, and we have all these question marks, is because we haven't really focused on our personal development enough. So what does it mean to develop a personal development plan? So this comes from, oh my gosh, I don't know who it comes from. There are so many people who talk about personal development plan. It might even go as far back as, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, like in the 60s and stuff. But I don't think he talked about it. But hold that thought, Hari. I'll get to you in a moment. But a personal development plan, a lot of us are very focused on reading books, right? Yes, absolutely, Nikhil. We need to read books for personal development. We need to watch content for personal development. We need to learn things for personal development. But the thing is, what most of us are doing, and what a lot of us are doing, is we are doing personal development like we're at a buffet. What happens when you're at a buffet, right? You go to a buffet and you say, "Oh, that looks good. I think I'll eat that." And this other thing, "Oh, I think I'll eat that. That's really good. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good." And we just put a bunch of stuff on our plate. It tastes good, and we're full, right? And so, but we weren't methodical, right? Some people, though, go into a buffet like this, right? They do this. They say, you know what? I'm going to be strategic. I am going, instead of like getting all the low priced things that are like heavy in carbohydrates and stuff like that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the crab. I'm going to go for the steak. I'm going to go for the things that are really high priced. So I'm going to get the greatest value out of that buffet. Right. And so we should approach personal development in the same way. What is it that you truly need to work on right now? Right? What is it you truly, because the reality is that's the reason. Whatever you truly need to work on right now is likely the reason that's holding you back, or the thing that's holding us back from making the transition into the career or the lifestyle that we really want. And so, okay, yeah, let me get to book fans. Yes, the main topic is transitioning into your dream career. So, but let's see. Let me take some questions real quick before we get to the next step. So you have to have a methodical plan about how you're going to develop yourself. That's a whole other topic. You can ask me some questions if you want to learn about how to construct that for yourself. I have a lot of emails that go out from time to time, how to do personal development plan. I think I'll have a template going out about that at some point. But no problem. I'm here. Okay, let me emphasize. I'm here for you. I'm here for your questions. You guys on TikTok too. I'm here for your questions. So stop me at any time. I'm here for your questions. So you said, Hari, any book to become super focused and avoid all the noise and stuff which are not needed in real life. Yes, actually. Yes. Okay. So there's something called I think it's called The Silence and the Noise. Hold on. Let me actually look it up, because I read it, and The Noise. Hold on. I think that's the book. Yeah. Hold on. No, that's not it. Oh man. Hold on. I can't find the title, but it's about cutting through the noise. And I've read it, and it's a great book. Hold on. Let me see, because I have some notes on this as well. So cutting through. Let's see. Hold on. I think it's in here. Yeah, I think it's in here. Hold on. I'm looking through my notes. To find this. You know what? I can't find the title. At the moment, but it's something about the signal from the noise. Yes, Krish, very, very good. It's The Signal from the Noise. I believe that is it. Thank you for clarifying. So from the noise, I believe that is it. It's something like the signal and the noise. Oh, it's called, okay, guys, I got it. So it's called The Signal and the Noise: Why So Many Predictions Fail But Some Don't. And it's actually very helpful for helping you get into the mindset of how to sort through relevant and irrelevant information. Okay, so that will be very, very helpful, Harry. I think, Harry, that was your question, right? So yeah. And then in terms of focus, oh my gosh, there are so many good books on focus. Man, let me get back to you, but that's a good place to start. It gives you into a good mindset. It's Hexen, welcome. It's Hexen, thank you so much for joining the live. Geniuses Who Died Poor: Edgar Allan Poe, Herman Melville, Henry. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you are listing some of the best authors. I actually have a video coming up talking about how It's Hexen, talking about how important it is for our learning. And for our personal development and for our intelligence to read literature. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to talk about that in more length, but you are dropping some, thank you, It's Hexen. You're dropping some really, really great authors. Go back and take a look at that. I actually have something coming up talking about Friedrich Nietzsche soon as well. And let's see. Yes, Harry, that's very good. That's the title. Yes. So yes. Yes. Throw it into an AI and say, sort this out for me. Some phrase are used by Musk in an interview. Yes, he is. Whatever you think of his politics or his social views, whatever, set that aside. Whatever you think, but whether you're for or against it doesn't matter to me. But if we go to his productivity views, yes, absolutely. He has some great views on productivity and development. I have a video on Elon Musk's productivity habits and daily routines, analyzing it, coming up this Monday. So be sure to take a look at that if you're interested. But let's go to step 3: join or create a mastermind group. This is so key as well. So joining or creating a mastermind group. If we are just by ourselves, okay, and again, there's a lot of research on this. You can even go and look at this for yourself. Getting constant feedback from real people in everyday life. The best is face-to-face. If the second best is online. But if you can get into a group of maybe even 2 or 3 people on a regular basis and share ideas. What are you working on? What are you working on? What are you working on? Even co-work together and just say, hey, I think this is a good idea. What can I give you feedback? I'll tell you guys, I have a YouTube coach, right? I have social media coach, and I don't know what's a good idea sometimes. So sometimes I ask the coach, and many times I ask you guys, because I want to know, what do you guys think is a good idea that I should talk about? What do you value? I don't want to give you things that you're not interested in, right? So it's always important to create a mastermind or get into some sort of mastermind group, a study group. And I think actually somebody had yes, Nikhil, can a personal development plan help in academic life? I'm just seeing that comment, that chat. So can a personal development plan, yes, can help you in your academic life, right? Now, book fans, the point was that they weren't successful as in rich. Yeah, okay. It's Hexen. I love this point. And you book fans, you have a different question here, and I'll address it in a moment. Yes, they weren't successful as in rich. You do not have to be rich to be successful. It's a good point. And this is a point that even people like Nietzsche made, and it was a really great point. He didn't directly say this, but you define your success. It's not up to me to define your success. If your definition of success is going, and this speaks to our career topic today, if your definition of success is you're backpacking around the world and experiencing new things and learning new things, you're successful. If success to you is that you are a great mother or father, right? And you're contributing in that way, then you're successful. If success to you means total flexibility and freedom, and financial independence, then that's success to you. I do believe that to some extent, success should include some element of financial stability at the very least. But can you be successful without financial stability? I think I think maybe you could. Maybe you could. I think maybe you could. There have been many people who have made contributions to this world who have had lasting impacts, and they weren't successful on the financial side. So it's Hexen, you bring up a very great point, and yes, very worth mentioning. So when you're developing your career, yes, you do want to have money in mind. Ideally, yes, you want to have financial stability. You don't want to have stress as financial stress in your life, right? Ideally, right? You don't want to be desperate for money, right? I've experienced that. I mean, I've been on the other side of that, experiencing debt and financial desperation and financial stress daily on a daily basis. I will confidently say that although money doesn't make you successful, just money, it is, like Zig Ziglar said, money isn't everything, but it's like oxygen, right? You need it to live. So I think it should be taken into account. How to be mindful in the real world. That's a very complex topic. What do you mean by mindful? Can you flesh that out and define it a little bit? What do you mean by mindful? Do you mean stress-free? Do you mean focused? Do you mean contemplative? Do you mean intelligent? What do you mean by mindful? And money isn't everything, but everything needs money. That's true, Harry. Yes, that is true. Or many things need money. Not everything actually does need money, but everything, almost a lot of things need money. So step 4, use your acquired experience. Now use your acquired experience that we talked about before from trying a lot of things to clarify your values. And if you guys have not used this before, this is a Japanese concept. It's called Ikigai. I really encourage you to take a look at this, all right, for yourself. You can screenshot this or you can draw it out. You could even Google it afterwards, Ikigai. And this is a great start. If you're really lost as to, okay, where do I start? What is success for me, right? It's Hexen. What is success for me? What does that look like for me? Because many people have not defined that for themselves, right? Then this is a great start. You can look into what are you good at? Right? What do you love? List these things out. Maybe what the world needs. I'm a big believer that all success has to involve some level of contribution. So it's Hexen. If you're still on here with us, basically there are many definitions or conceptions of success. But one thing I will say, and I firmly believe, is that you aren't actually successful if you are just rich. Right? If you're just rich and you're sitting and then you're using your wealth to sit on the beach and sip pina coladas and you're not doing anything for anybody else, you're not contributing to the world in some way, you're not helping some people in some way, then you are not successful. By my definition, you're not successful, right? With everything we lack in our life, I want to get AI to do a bunch of things, but I don't want to give it to everyone else. Therefore, it is not a product. So if I understand you correctly, you're talking about you want to get AI to do a bunch of things, but you don't want other people to have that benefit. I'm a little confused by your statement, but feel free to clarify. Harry, you said whatever thing we lack in our life becomes everything for us. Yes. Oh my gosh, so true. If we're facing health issues, yes, health becomes everything. So whatever we don't have, it becomes everything for us, right? Yeah. Okay. And you point out something very, very important, Harry, is that gratitude. Like gratitude is so important. I know it sounds so cliche. Oh yes, be grateful, have gratitude, but it's true. Like if you woke up this morning, you don't have pain, in your body, right? That's something that a lot of people don't have, right? A lot of people wake up with pain and live their whole day with pain. Like being grateful for that. If I have food to eat today, right? Being grateful for that, at least being appreciative, right? So, absolutely being appreciative for everything. And that actually helps you get through problems more easily. So if you do have problems in your life, everybody has problems. It actually gives you a little bit more perspective, and it gives you something motivating to work towards, right? So delete all social media. Yeah, it can take 7 digital. Well, so here's actually Nikhil. You can. Although I know there's a lot of content out there about digital detox, dopamine detox. However, in terms of the research out there, there's no real evidence that dopamine detox, like just getting away from everything stimulating for 7 days, really does kind of reset your dopamine levels. So a better approach than dopamine detox, quite honestly, is to just just block out your social media time. So for me, I know that if I don't, some people like Carl Newport think passion is overrated. What's your okay? Yeah. So Krish, so hold on. Let me let me talk about the previous thing. So, so yes, time block your social media. Time block your social media. I do that, right? Say, okay, if I'm gonna do Instagram, why am I on Instagram? I'm gonna spend this much time doing that thing. Why am I on YouTube? What am I trying to learn? If I'm on YouTube to learn something, great. I'm gonna spend 20 minutes maybe maximum to learn this thing. I'm gonna get off, right? Be intentional. I think it goes back to being intentional and setting a schedule, right? I'm going to talk about on Monday something called the Eisenhower Matrix in the video about Elon Musk. So that actually should help you address that question. Krish, let me address your question here. Passion is overrated. Yes. Let's talk about that, Krish. So as you see in this Ikigai chart, right, it does say passion in here. What do you love? And notice how that is one ingredient, right? So what Cal Newport, Cal Newport, and others have said about this, and what I take them to mean by this is that passion has become, there's this trend of saying like, do what you love, right? Do what you're passionate about. And although, yes, it's a good sentiment, I think one of the many objections to follow your passion is correct in that it's saying, well, it's you shouldn't just focus on what you're passionate about, because what you're passionate about, doesn't mean you have skills in that area and you're not going to maybe struggle in that area. It doesn't mean that you can make money at it, right? It doesn't mean that you can. But at the very least, you should like what you do, right? Isn't that reasonable? You should like what you do. You should have a value alignment with what you do. So passion should be an ingredient. I think what they're emphasizing is that passion just simply shouldn't be the only thing that you consider. Does that make sense, Krish? And what do you think about that perspective? So passion, what you love; mission, what the world needs. Again, contribution is very important. I really believe that is one of the reasons, like, if you want to talk about purpose for existence, I think that's one purpose for existence. And I don't, yeah. So good. I mean, I think it's important. It's an important ingredient. A lot of these things can be overstated. It's actually just as to say only follow your passion is just as wrong in a sense to say only follow where the money is, only follow where you can make money, right? So that doesn't make sense either. Oh, only follow where your skills are. Well, what if let's take a look at this model as you're listing out, and I encourage everybody to right now or later, just take some pen to paper or pencil to paper or Google Doc or whatever, list some things out in these categories. So what if you find out that there are a lot of things that you really like in the passion category, or there's one thing that's you really love in the passion category, but what you are good at, this profession part, maybe you're a little deficient in the skills to get there, but you're really dead set on, like, this is my mission. My mission and my passion align around this specific thing, but I'm lacking skills in the profession part. I would say that's okay. You just have to be real with yourself and say, okay, if that's my passion and I feel mission driven about it, then I am willing to really bust my butt, right? I'm trying to be polite here. All right. Anyway, I'm willing to really work extremely hard to develop that skill, right? Whatever that is, where I'm skill deficient. So that's what you just have to be real with yourself, that's you have to be willing, you're willing to develop that skill set. All right. That's all. And, determine how much the risk is worth and take action to transition. I would say, okay, so this is the what we're going to talk about now. Determine the risk. So how much is the risk worth? Now, I know a lot of people, you might have the objection and say, well, when you try a lot of things may be very, very risky, right? Try to minimize your risk as you're trying things. We talked about that first step is just try a bunch of things. Be smart about it, right? Don't say, when I say try a bunch of things, it doesn't mean, take out a $100,000 mortgage on your house and or refinance your house, take that $100,000 and, put it into some, random idea that you want to test out. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about take, small steps into something. Let's say, for instance, you want to do, you think you want to be a programmer, you want to program something out. I think it's Hexen. Maybe that's how you feel about AI. You want to do something with AI. I don't know. But let's say you want to do that. And you say, I really believe that I want to do that. Based on everything you've heard from other people, maybe you just want to try it out. Would it be worth investing in a course on coding? Yeah, maybe there's a coding course out there that would be really valuable and you could start trying it. And maybe halfway through the course, you realize, oh, wow, this sucks. I really don't like this. All right. So, but it's good to know, maybe by spending like a couple $100 or something to do that. Right. And I know maybe, okay, you don't have the money to do it. I understand. I've been there. Listen, guys, I've walked into, there have been periods of my life I've walked into a grocery store with $21 US, which if you're not in the US, that's not a lot in the US. Yeah. So yeah, it's Hex, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, it's so I understand that. But if you really are dead set on something, you're really focused on this goal, then at the end of it, you really should do your best to stash something away. Obviously, in the short term, do something that's going to make money, right? If you're short on money, do something that's going to make money. That makes sense, right? Just find something that temporary that's going to pay the bills. Of course, use that to save up something to focus on the mission and passion parts of that Ikigai quadrant. So yeah, it's Hexen. Maybe there are too many programmers. I don't know, right? Yeah. So it's about time management. So Chris, you said some professions require some kind of investment. For example, yeah, medical profession. Yeah, for sure. How do you calculate the risk? So yeah, I actually will tell you, I have experience with this. I was going to be an MD PhD. I was actually going to go into that profession. I went just far enough that, like, just before I took the MCAT. I went just far enough that I took the MCAT, before I took the MCAT. So I actually did invest quite a lot of money. That's why I got into a lot of student debt. One way, okay, to do this, to determine how much the risk is worth and take action, talk to a lot of people. That's why this other part, the mastermind, step 3, is so important. Talk to people. Talk to as many people as you possibly can who are in that profession. Ask them what they love. Ask them what they don't like. Ask them how much it costs them to do it, how much time they spend doing it. Ask them. all of these targeted questions, you'll be able to understand what the risk is worth. So you don't actually have to take out all the loans, right? That I did. It would have been a lot smarter. Of course, I was a college kid, but a lot of college kids should do this, right? You should do this. Go ask if you're interested in a profession. More likely than not, you probably have a very warped view of what that profession is like. Go and ask, 10 people. And I'm serious about that. Like 10 people who are in that profession. You'll find people who are, they're like, I wish I could do something else. Well, why? And you'll get their reasons. And if you get enough perspective, you can even do internships in something, right? You could even work, let's say, if you want to experience the day-to-day operations of a profession, let's say a business, go work. If you want to see how it is to run a that kind of like restaurant business, go work in a restaurant, right? As an example. How and why did you drop your PhD? Was it PhD? Yeah. So I didn't. So I don't have a PhD. I have a graduate degree, but not a PhD. I chose not to do a PhD because it's long story short, I did get involved with business and start a business, and it was actually out of financial necessity to begin with. But it took me on this whole journey at the time, and I said, "Wow, like." It was actually extremely great experience. So I don't have a PhD, but I am peer reviewed. I actually got peer reviewed and published as a researcher without a PhD. My book is in university libraries around the world, and my work is, you can even just Google some of my work. But Stephen Petro, Columbia University, you could see what I've done. But basically, yeah, I chose not to get a PhD. And again, these are the hard choices you need to make sometimes. It's like, PhD is so prestigious, right? But is it worth the prestige? Again, it goes back to your value set. Do you value prestige, or do you value independence and freedom? Like, which ones do you want? Do you value the most, right? What's most important to you? So these are just some things to consider. And sometimes you can have both. Life is hard, right? Life is hard. Yeah, it might be your internet issue, but yeah, exactly, it does. But that's the point, Krish, is like sometimes that when and it's called the sunk cost fallacy. Sometimes we reason to ourselves, well, I've spent so much time in this. I've spent so much time in this profession. I've invested X amount of dollars into this. I have to keep going. Well, look up the sunk cost fallacy. That's something that it's actually a fallacy in terms of our thinking that we want to avoid. All right. It's not the best way to think and to reason out what our decision should be. So great discussion, guys. And if you guys want to work with me personally, then consider joining my Life Navigator program. It's something that a lot of people are having success in terms of figuring out what they want to do, figuring out their purpose, figuring out their career, and actually learning the skills. We teach you the skills to navigate that change. So there are 3 phases here in this program: the Telos discovery phase, the skill mastery phase, where we actually customize a curriculum for you to get to whatever goal career or lifestyle goal you are looking to achieve, whether that's starting a nonprofit, whether that's starting a business, whether that's pursuing a PhD, or what have you. This skill mastery phase, customized curriculum and study plan, can help you. And then also that first phase is a personal development plan, where we individualize for you what the steps are in your personal development journey. The last phase is project completion, having strategic connections, giving you strategic connections and resources as well. So I'm going to put the link to that in the chat if you're interested. And if you're also interested in just seeing if this is for you, feel free to book a 30-minute call with me. I'll put that link in the chat as well. And on this call, we'll set up a preliminary plan. If you love how I've worked with you and the plan that we've figured out, then let's get started with the Life Navigator system. If not, then at least you'll have a solid plan to run on, and that's free for you. So I have really loved and always love doing these live streams with you guys. I really appreciate all of you. I will see you guys next week, and watch out for my new video next week. I'm going to be talking about Elon Musk's productivity system and really breaking down how he stays productive and how he achieves what he achieves. But I will be breaking it down to apply to your life. So stay tuned for that. I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day, evening, night, and I will talk to you soon.